Yo, what's up guys? It's Noah here, and in today's video, going to be talking about some player props I like on Prizepicks for the Week 13 Thursday Night Football game between the Bills and the Patriots. Do want to give you guys some plays I like for this game on Prizepicks. We got two picks that we're going to share in this video. Normally for these primetime games, when we just have one game, I usually only give out two picks just because it's hard to find a ton of props to play in just one specific game. You're just kind of limited with your options. But we're going to talk through the two picks that I do like for this game. Before we do that, guys, as always, if you guys enjoy these Prizepicks videos, hit that like button down below. I always appreciate the likes. If you have not yet, hit that subscribe button as well. And if you're new to the channel and you have not signed up for Prizepicks yet, you can sign up with my promo code Noah. When you do sign up with my promo code Prizepicks, they will match your first deposit up to $100. Prizepicks, they're a player prop site, so they have your traditional player props like passing yards, rushing yards, receiving yards, but they also have a ton of different stuff as well. If you ever played fantasy football before, Prizepicks has fantasy score projections, so you can basically take the over or the under on a player's fantasy point projection. They have rush receiving yards, pass plus rush yards. They have touchdown combos where you can basically take a certain players like as you see Josh Allen, Jacoby Myers to score a touchdown. You can take Josh Allen, Dawson Knox to score a touchdown. They have different stuff that they're offering now, for NFL. So you guys definitely need to be playing on Prizepicks. If you're not signed up over there, get signed up. Use code Noah, and you will get your first deposit matched up to $100. But we got an NFL game tonight for Thursday night. There's only one NBA game on Thursday, so not going to have any NBA content for today. Did want to get a video out for this Thursday night football game. Honestly, I'm kind of glad there's only one NBA game today because I just need a break from NBA right now. NBA has been going so poorly for me lately. Hopefully NFL, we can right the ship in NFL tonight. But yeah, obviously one NBA game tonight, so probably won't have any NBA content post for today. We'll be back for Friday with NBA. But for the two plays I do like for this Thursday night football game, we're going to start off in the receiving yard category. Got a receiving yard prop that I like, and then a fantasy score prop that I like. So for receiving yards, I want to talk about Ramondre Stevenson, 31.5 receiving yards. I know this is kind of like a popular pick kind of around the industry. I see a lot of people are on this as well. But I really like this play. I think I think this line is definitely a little bit too low, and we'll talk about that in a second. But 31.5 receiving yards for Ramondre Stevenson. This is a line that he has gone over in 4 out of his last 5 games. And we've seen the Patriots really involve Ramondre Stevenson in the passing game just kind of as of late. Over this 5-game stretch, he's had 8, 7, 7, 6, and 10 targets. So, he's been averaging like almost 7 targets per game. Actually, over 7 targets per game in that stretch. The volume has been great for Ramondre Stevenson. On the season, he's second on the team in target share. His target share is just behind Jacoby Myers. On the season, 19% target share for Jacoby Myers, 18.75% for Ramondre Stevenson. But over this 5-game stretch, he actually leads the team in target share. We've seen them, really dump the ball off to Stevenson. And the Patriots, their receiver core is just not the best. It's probably one of the worst in the NFL. They just don't have a ton of great pass catchers. Jacoby Myers is their best receiver, and he's coming into this game questionable. He's a little bit banged up. We saw him get injured in their Thanksgiving Day game against the Vikings. He wound up coming back in that game, but he didn't really look fully healthy. So, even if Jacoby Myers plays tonight, there's a chance that he's not 100%. So I think we're going to see, once again, Ramondre Stevenson really involved in the passing game. It is worth noting that Damien Harris is going to be out for this game for the Patriots. So without Damien Harris, obviously expect Ramondre Stevenson to play a ton of snaps. In their 2 games this season that Damien Harris did not play in, Ramondre Stevenson played 86% and 73% of the snaps. And in those 2 games, he did get pretty good volume. Those were 2 games where they actually were playing from ahead. They beat the Colts in Week 9, 16-3, so they really didn't have to throw much in that game, but Ramondre Stevenson still had 7 targets. And then Week 6, when Damien Harris was out, they beat Cleveland 38-15, another game where they were playing with a lead. Stevenson still saw 5 targets in that game. So even in game scripts where they are playing from playing with the lead, they're still dumping the ball off to Stevenson. And obviously in a game script where they're playing from behind and they're forced to throw, you could see even more dump offs to Ramondre Stevenson. And I think this could be a game where they are playing from behind. The Bills, I think, are one of the best teams in the NFL. I know the Patriots, they seem to always play really well against big-time opponents. And their defense is just kind of what wins them games. Usually when the Patriots win games, it's because they keep the game low scoring. It's hard for the Patriots to really win shootouts just because their offense is not the best. But their defense is really solid. We could see this be a close game. If not, I could see the Bills kind of getting an early lead, and that could mean more dump-offs, more pass attempts for Mac Jones, and obviously more dump-offs to Ramondre Stevenson. So, man, if he continues to see 6, 7, 8 targets per game, then he's got a very good chance to come away with 32-plus receiving yards Right now on DraftKings Sportsbook, they actually have his receiving yard prop set at 35.5. Again, I know this is kind of a popular pick around the industry, but clearly there's kind of some juice on the over here. His line on DK is at 35.5. On Prizepicks, we're getting a 4-yard discount. It's at 31.5. So this is a prop that I do like for this one from the Patriots side. 31.5 receiving yards from Ramondre Stevenson. Give me the over here. And then to pair with that on the Bills side, a fantasy score prop that I like, one that I've played a lot this season, and it's come through a lot. Josh Allen, fantasy points. 23.5 fantasy score is his projection for this week. I also like the over here. And Josh Allen, last week, I played his fantasy score. That was one of the picks I gave out on the Thanksgiving Day slate. And he had a really big game against Detroit, over almost 31 fantasy points. I know he had a couple passing touchdowns in that game. I think he had 3 passing touchdowns, threw for 253 yards, or 2 passing touchdowns. He did have 78 rushing yards and a rushing touchdown. We know Josh Allen is like one of the best fantasy quarterbacks, if not the best fantasy quarterback. So far this season, he's averaging just over 26 fantasy points per game. He's gone over this line in 8 out of 11 games this season. 2 of the games he went under were just short. I mean, that game against Minnesota, he finished with 22.6 fantasy points. The game against Green Bay, he finished with 19.6 fantasy points. And then he did have that down game against Cleveland recently where he finished with 12.5 fantasy points. But I think that was a game where he was kind of injured. I know he's been dealing with an elbow injury lately, but doesn't seem to be bothering him anymore. Josh Allen looked pretty good in that Thanksgiving Day game against Detroit. He's off the injury report for this game. He was a full participant in practice all week. So this elbow injury that he's had, I think he's kind of over it. Like, I think he's 100% now. And again, we know what Josh Allen's going to do when he's out there. He's going to throw the ball a ton. The Bills are one of the most pass-heavy offenses in the league. Josh Allen offers elite rushing upside, so he can get you 6, 7, 8 fantasy points just from rushing yards alone. Anytime they get near the goal line, Josh Allen is always a threat to get a rushing touchdown. He's had 5 rushing touchdowns this season. So there are so many ways for him to go over 23.5 fantasy points, whether it be he could throw multiple passing touchdowns, he could get a rushing touchdown, he could throw for a ton of yards, he could get a ton of rushing yards. He just has so many ways to go over this line. And the Patriots in general, they do have a pretty good pass defense. Their defense is just strong overall, but they've been really, really stout against the run, and specifically kind of limiting opposing running backs. That's another reason I kind of like this prop. I think it could be a tough night for Devin Singletary. Devin Singletary's been pretty good this season, but the Patriots have been one of the stingiest teams against the run, stopping opposing running backs, limiting them to the second fewest fantasy points. In terms of rushing yards allowed to opposing running backs, they're bottom 5 in that category too, and they've only allowed 1 rushing touchdown to running backs this season. So that's another reason I kind of like this prop. We could see Buffalo lean more on Josh Allen here. If they're having trouble running the ball with Devin Singletary, if the Patriots are kind of stuffing the run, it could be one of those games where Josh Allen throws the ball like 40-plus times. So 23.5 fantasy score, I think there's a lot of ways Allen can go over this line, whether it be from passing, from rushing, from getting touchdowns. It's so easy for him to hit 23.5 fantasy points with how much he's involved in this offense. And basically anytime the Bills score like 20-plus points, usually Josh Allen is going to have at least 2 or 3 touchdowns just because he accounts for so much of their offense. Usually any of their offensive touchdowns at this point are basically Josh Allen touchdowns. I know Devin Singletary has had some rushing touchdowns lately, but again, the Patriots have been very stout, limiting opposing running backs, and they've only allowed 1 rushing touchdown to running backs this season. So I think if the Bills score 2 or 3 touchdowns off on the offensive end, two of those 3 touchdowns could come through Josh Allen. So that's what I'm liking for this Thursday night football game, guys. Just a little 2-pick entry. This is what I'll be playing. I don't think I'm going to play anything else for this game. I usually don't play more than just like a 2-pick entry for these primetime games. But I do like to play something just kind of to have something to sweat while I watch the game. But if you guys are going to be tailing me in this 2-pick entry, I wish you the best of luck. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. As always, I appreciate you watching these Prizepicks videos. Hit that like button if you guys do enjoy. Hit that subscribe button if you have not yet. And again, if you are new to Prizepicks, you can check out the bottom of the screen. Sign up for Prizepicks. Use promo code Noah. You will get your first deposit matched up to $100 when you do sign up with my promo code. Or you can just click the link in the description. But again, guys, thanks for watching the video, supporting the content. Appreciate you guys a ton. Best of luck tonight on this Thursday night football game. We'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.